Hello and welcome to Dark Night Healing. My name is Julie. I'm going to do an oracle reading for you today from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. I hope everyone's having a good day or a good night. These readings are timeless and I am an intuitive reader. I don't go by the books. I don't know what's in the books. I don't know. Sometimes it'll line up or I will say something that might be part of the book, I don't know, but honestly, Spirit directed me not to read the books. This is a completely intuitive reading, and yeah, I just trust Spirit. Here we go. Wisdom. So you're a very intelligent person. People probably tell you you're wise beyond your years. Or you know a lot for someone so young. You don't always follow the path. Sometimes you like to rock the boat with finding out your information. You like to ask a lot of questions. You are the one who reaches for more knowledge when even it seems like you can't have any, but there's always more. Gratitude. You're showing more gratitude these days for yourself and for those around you. Maybe your elders, maybe you're showing more gratitude towards your grandparents or the elderly people around you, whereas you may not have before. Maybe you didn't take them seriously before, but reaching for that knowledge, you have learned something that has made you see them in a different light. I feel like somebody's watching you too. With the lady in the background here on this card, somebody's watching you. They might be jealous of your growth. Okay. Got cards popping up all over the place. Alright, after that was resistance. So something, you're in resistance to something. Looks like you have some nattering birds in the background there, maybe annoying you, keeping you in resistance maybe, so you don't let go. Yeah. They're trying to keep you in resistance because you're holding on to their nests. If you let go, their whole world goes up. That's a lot of pressure. Maybe that's who this is. Maybe they're realizing that you're a bit more integral than they thought you were, and now you're going to walk away and the whole world is going to fall apart. Yeah. Hunger. You are longing for something different. You want out of this situation. You're coming to a time of enlightenment. You're learning more about yourself. You're howling at the moon. You're changing directions on things. You're blossoming. But you've definitely found your direction. You've definitely found your direction. So you know where you're going. But these people are keeping you in resistance. They don't, because their whole world is going to fall apart without you. Like, you're holding on to the nests, several of them. You're keeping several. Oh, girl. Or boy. This is some karmic stuff. I'm feeling from this resistance card, You have multiple family lines here relying on you daily, it looks like. Yeah. And they're all expecting you to be there. But you're getting tired. And you've been working on something for yourself that you didn't tell anyone about. And this something you've focused on hard, and you've kept a focus on it despite all the distractions, despite all the nattering from people, despite all the questions that you've had about everything. You have stayed focused on this one thing. And whatever this one thing is helping you blossom, it's helping you release what you need to release, to see what you need to see. Yeah. Sovereignty. You've been working on yourself. You've been focused on your sovereignty. You have been putting in boundaries. And these birdies don't like it. You found peace within yourself, and you're like, sorry, no, I'm not doing this for you anymore. I am in control. And you're just going to have to accept that, the void. You spent a lot of time thinking about this, mulling it over, resting on it. You put a lot of effort and thought into everything about yourself lately. I'm going to say a few years. 2 to 4 years. You've been focusing on this part of you, this aspect of you that you have transmuted and really come into your power. You have a big cycle coming out, changing. Spirit, what is the cycle that's coming out, that's changing? Is this the nattering birds leaving? Discernment. So it's definitely a closing out of cycles. You need to use your discernment, but you need to get out of your head. You've been doing very, very well. Up to this point, you've gone in towards yourself. You've looked in towards yourself. But you've had to do that with a more analytical mind. I'm seeing that here with all the stuff around her head. You had to look at yourself more analytically so you could transmute and accept the things about you that you needed to change. You had to do that analytically. You had to do it logically in order to transmute that. But now Spirit is telling you that this time of change needs you to go into your heart space. You have to feel from your heart now. Logic will have no place here. I've heard that before. I'm a very logical, analytical person, despite being a Virgo, who's also extremely emotional. Like, it's a bit crazy with us Virgos, how we work. But yeah, we can get stuck in our heads real bad. And then, or we can get stuck in our emotions. It's a one or the other. But Spirit's saying that you've been in your head too long, but that has given you your sovereignty. So don't think that was ever a bad thing. You needed to be in that space to get where you are now. But now it's time to let go of that third eye crown and really feel in your heart space and use the power from your higher self now. And your feeling from within to guide you on this course and release this resistance. It's good. This closing out of cycle is going to lead to change and growth for you and you alone. You're going to feel like you're on top of the world. Like, you have grown so much that you're not even going to look at worldly things anymore the same way you did, like politics, voting, how, like, you're not healthcare, all of anything that has to do with anything mainstream world, you aren't going to be a part of anymore. You're letting all that go. You're rooting into Mother Earth, and you're letting that guide you now. This is going to be a magnificent change, a really great closing out of cycles for you. Keep seeking that outer wisdom, and look beyond the books. That always gets me in trouble. I always like to ask questions, and I always have. I got us kicked out of a church once because I asked the preacher if he was going to use the Bible as a prop or if he was going to read it to us. My great-grandma was not happy. So bad. But, you know, like, I've never stopped asking questions because I would rather look stupid and find out the answer than not do it and then get yelled at and still look stupid. You know, I never understood people doing that. Oh, I'm too scared to ask. Well, if you don't ask, then how are you going to fix it? Like, we make mistakes. We're human. We're literally told that we are sinful from the time we are born. So why not embrace that? Like, oops, I made a mistake. That's just me being human. Like, if we're going to be sinful creatures from the time we're born, because the bread pan got dented with number 1, then give yourself a break on the mistakes, because it's not our fault. It's how we learn. So learn, laugh, accept it. Oops. You know, obviously there's going to be some oopses that are way bigger and not so funny, or easy to accept. But, you know, like, nothing is permanent in this life except death. So unless you've murdered somebody, you know, or really, really destroyed that person emotionally, like in all aspects of your life, people should be able to forgive you. But, you know, if you've totally destroyed their entire life and how people, you know, like, if you are a huge narcissist that fucked everybody up, then obviously don't be looking for forgiveness from those people, because any forgiveness that they'll give you is to let them go. Move on, get yourself help, and find a new group of people. Don't go back. Those people aren't part of that story anymore. You know, you can get help. You can change. It's not impossible. It takes work. But, you know, if you are a person that has done these horrible things to people, then you have to accept them, and you have to accept that you did it, and then you have to apologize and let go. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to, most of the time, you're not going to be part of their lives. That's something you'll just have to accept. It's a choice. They're allowed to choose, no, I don't want you there anymore. You hurt them, and they won't forget that. And some of them shouldn't forget it, so just let them move on, okay? You will find a new tribe that will work for you as long as you're trying to heal and you're doing the work. I emphasize on doing that. But the person that this is for, you have so much coming into you, and you've already found your sovereignty. You've already transmuted as much as you can. It's this group, these people who, I'm not going to say they rely on you, but they also demand it of you. They keep you in that resistant state because you're literally holding on to their entire, like, I would say this is like 3 family groups you're responsible for. Like, you're babysitting grandkids, you have, you know, I don't know, a hugely blended family somewhere. Like I come from, you know, I have one natural full sister. I have a half sister, another half brother, and a step brother, and like, it's insane. So if this is a situation that you have, that you are literally the go-to person, you gotta let go of being the go-to person, because you have places to go, baby, and it's not with them. And they're only keeping you in resistance because they're afraid to fly on their own. They're afraid without that position that you hold, they won't be able to make it. But the thing is that everybody has to learn how to make it on their own. Everyone has to learn how to be in their own. We can have people around us. People can walk beside us on this path, but we're still walking it alone. No one is inside our body experiencing this with us. They're not going to see it through our eyes. They're not going to breathe it through our lungs. They're not going to feel what our body feels. We cannot live this life for someone else. We can't. When you even have children, you have to put yourself first, even a little bit, because if you don't, you go crazy and then you damage your kids. Like, it's too much pressure all the time for one person. And it's okay to need help. But it's also okay to need the opposite. It's also okay to need to be alone. You know? Everyone has a different path. And what you need to be discerning about right now is what you want from this path. You've got your sovereignty. You're in your place. Do you still want to continue to be this go-to person? Because this go-to person is in a lot of resistance. If you let go at any point, even a finger, the whole thing comes undone. So really be discerning about where you want your growth to be. Do you want it to be in you, or still struggling? I feel that if you don't choose to let go, you might not be able to ever let go. Something might bind you. But other than that, you're doing great. You've transmuted everything you possibly can transmute. Never stop asking questions, though. Again, like I said, I'd rather look stupid than not know the answer and then look stupid because I was too scared to ask. You know, it's just a matter of perception, how you perceive things. You know, like, you're a logical person. I need to help them. They're my family. I get that. I was there. The devotion, although necessarily not emotional, is still a guilt trip that goes on in your mind. You have to let that go, and you have to start feeling from your heart. And I think your heart is telling you that you're tired, you're exhausted, and you can't keep this up anymore. And they need to grow themselves. Yeah, you've got some fear that if you don't hold it all together, it's going to come crashing down. And it will. It will come crashing down. The problem is you have to let that go, the fear of that, because it's not your responsibility to fix everything. It's not your responsibility to fix everything or everybody. It's not your responsibility to make sure everyone is safe. You got to make sure you're safe first. And you got to put your health first. Yeah, let go of your fear. Change your perspective. Assess it from a different place. Yeah, and there's those birds again. See, it's time to change. You gotta break free. Time to break free. Time to let go. Time to start seeing your future. Spirit is with you. They're guiding you. They want you to keep going. But you will have to let this go. Yeah. Gonna have to let it go. All right, that's your message for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You can also email me at darknighthealing@gmail.com. Sorry, my cat. Anyway, I do personal readings and I have intention items for low costs. You can message me on any of those platforms and find out more. Other than that, you have a great day.